going on, Canes fans? This your boy Brad. I got my boy Bo with me today. Bo, what's going on?
What's going on, man? It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, especially if you happen to be a fan of a certain team.
Absolutely, man. You already know what the deal is, man. As y'all know, we are coming back from an exciting weekend. We've had pretty good weekend, if I'm not mistaken, man. But before we get started, I got something we gotta play real quick. So let me get to something, and we'll be right back. Man, oh man. Hey, shout out to my guy King Cast Kev. Man, that was a great edit video that he ended up putting together, man. I know a lot of people are using it. But Bo, I know you hype, man. Look at you.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, I just feel so Miami right now. I mean, you take this out because I can't even talk. Brad, I just want to know, what were these motherfuckers thinking? Man. What were they thinking that they actually had a chance? I just don't get it, bro. I've had this shit on my chest for over a week now. I don't get it. The ass whooping is one thing. Okay, cool. I expected that, but what really pisses me off is the Gator fan base. Why did they think they had a chance in this game and was talking crazy to me? I feel like Thanos when they called me a madman. I told you got no chance of winning. You have nothing. We were doing all these position ranks and talking about quarterback push, receiver push, offensive line push. Dude, we're better than y'all from top to bottom, from head coach, quarterback, running back, offensive line, defensive line, a fucking university. We're better everywhere. Why did you think you had a fucking chance? Brad, go home. I need it. Jesus Christ.
Listen, before I get going, before I start on my round, you want a shot real quick?
You got something special for us.
Yeah, we do. We do got something special tonight. Since we had a special victory here in our backyard in the swamp, drain the swamp, matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Me and Bo, we had to put that on the wall on 34. Yeah. And that went kind of viral. But another thing's been going kind of viral in the alcohol world. We got to give a shout out to our guy Shay.
That's you?
Yeah, we got a little bit of Shay.
Okay, we celebrating one. I'm with that.
You know what? So let's pour up some Shay real quick.
Yeah.
On this victory over Miami over Florida, man. And unfortunately, some of us knew this was gonna happen.
Knew it was gonna fucking happen.
But how many people guessed the actual score was gonna happen?
I honestly don't like to give credit, but I only know one fucking person that actually guessed that score right, and I happen to work with him, so it makes me look like a genius too. I'll take it.
Listen, man, it was
just cheat off your paper.
Hey, man, before we get started, here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Appreciate it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff.
And that's great. So, anyways, before I let you get back on your rant, let me just start a little bit. This Florida-Miami matchup, man. Unfortunately, we kind of knew this was coming. You look at their defensive line group before the game started, no production.
Mm-hmm.
You look at their wide receivers, guys that were coming from other programs, still not proven or hurt back. They were talking about all these different running backs that they were going to throw at us. And the only one they threw at us was the one hurt. And, shout out to him. He broke
did,
over.
But that was on us. I mean, he good for him, but that was on us.
But at the end of the day, the facts are facts. And here are the facts, Bo. Billy has lost 6 straight games as a Florida head coach. His last 2 games at home, he lost to his 2 rivals in Miami and Florida State.
Say what?
Yes,
that's
man.
Not about Billy.
Not only that, but he couldn't even put up 20 points in either game. Snapped a 33 home winning streak, longest college football home opening winning streak that was snapped by the University of Miami in the Swamp.
You talking about Billy?
That Billy, the same Billy that not only got his ass whooped on the field, not only got his hand crunched after by our guy Mario Cristobal, but then after the game in the presser, he got his ass whooped one more time by an Aquafina water bottle.
Bro could not open a fucking water bottle.
He couldn't open up the playbook. He couldn't open up the water bottle. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but currently right now, they're in a state where there's only been 1 game played for the University of Florida, ass whooping handed by us, the University of Miami.
Easy money.
And they have a president that is nowhere to be found. He's on wanted posters right now. Nobody knows where Scott Strickland is. What? Right? Yeah, nobody knows where he is. And then on top of
a little vacay.
Then on top of that, you got a guy in Billy Napier who's calling out the fan base in his pressers, who is saying that these Central Florida fans that are in basements, first time I've ever heard a Central Florida guy having a basement, but you have him saying those nonsense. But then on top of that, Bo, this is what's the craziest part of them all. You got the same Florida fans that were saying in Twitter spaces a couple weeks ago that they were going to destroy Miami, and Cam Ward wasn't like that, which we'll get to that guy in a minute. But these are the same people that are now saying, oh, Florida is not only going to fire Billy Napier this year, which is going to come with a $25 million plus buyout, and they're still paying Dan Mullen on top of that. But they're talking about they're going to get Urban Meyer out of retirement.
Oh, they're bringing Urban back.
They're talking about they are in talks with Lane Kiffin, who's currently the head coach at Ole Miss, putting up numbers, right? They're talking about getting Lane Kiffin at Florida. They're talking about all these different names. Me personally, I think someone like Jed Fish might fit the bill more, but they're talking about guys like Deion Sanders, Dan Lanning, like these names, right? Let's be honest. Let's be real with ourselves. These guys are not going to come to a program at Florida that is a dumpster fire when they're already building their program at what they're at and already progressing. You're not going to want to come to Florida. They have all the tools and necessities to go and stay where they're at. Why would you go to Florida? I mean, before I continue, go back to your rant, Bo. I know you got.
I didn't hear about all that stuff, so now it's got my mind wondering. And I see they're already speculating. I guess Gator fans already got together a plan. But one thing I know about Gator fans, y'all don't know how to do shit right. So if y'all want y'all university back on the top, I'm gonna tell you what you do. Fire Billy. You go get Jesus as head coach. Then you get Jesus to go get his son Tim Tebow. Okay, and then y'all sit in the chapel for about a good 2 weeks. Pray, keep building on that, and then maybe that might spark a little something for y'all. Maybe things might start to turn in your program just a little bit. Oh my God, I just don't get these, man. I don't get it. I mean, like the game was the game, but the fans just made no fucking sense to me. Since when is 2 + 2 not 4? I told you, it was right there. It was obvious. Cam Ward Graham. Cam Ward. Martinez Johnson. Martinez. Like Mario Sunbelt Billy. Mario. Like, how did you even think you had a fucking chance? And what really pissed me off was that Monday, I remember I was going on lunch, and you're like, oh, I'm in this space. And I was listening to these damn Gator fans talk about our players. I'm like, where the fuck is this shit even coming from? Like, is everybody just fucking high? I don't get it, but go ahead, man.
I mean, what I thought was crazy was like some of the game plan going into this game. I think Coach Guidry did an excellent job on defense. I mean, if you really rewatch the game, Florida's not as bad as people say, even though we mollywop their ass. But their defense is really not as bad as people think. I just think Cam Ward and our offense is like that, especially our O-line. but their defense is pretty decent. And I thought what Coach Guidry did very well as far as the game plan for this Florida game was he simply went back to last season and went with their top 5, top 7 plays. And he kind of said it in an interview after the game. He was like, look, we took their top 5 to 7 plays that showed up in every game last year, a reverse, crossing routes, tailback screens, and sure enough, the first 4 or 5 plays in that game, it showed right up. And like, that's just the simple things of a coordinator, especially an OC like Billy Napier is supposed to be the guy calling those plays. Those are things that you have to learn from and adjust. And that's one thing I got to give credit to Mario Cristobal is, yes, he's had some issues in the past. He's had some hiccups, but at the end of the day, he's learned from his mistakes. And you saw that. You saw that this first game because, bro, at the end of the day, us Miami fans, we know that, especially first game of the year, we're very undisciplined, whether it's, false starts, whether it's hitting guys after the whistle, especially having that grit and tenacity, just wanting to, lay the wood, right?
Yep.
So I think us being so disciplined, we only had 1 or 2 penalties the whole football game. Where Florida, when you look at the penalties they had, they really implemented big time plays. They ended up being 2 roughing the passers, and both of those ended up turning into touchdowns. Where with ours, I mean, I think we only had 1 or 2 penalties, but I like where we came from a fundamental standpoint and just overall football, man. Trenches is what wins football games, especially when you're going against an SEC opponent. We knew that going in, and we did an excellent job, from beginning to end on both sides of the football. What'd you think?
Yeah, man. Honestly, there were no surprises for me because I'm a logical person. I knew what type of team Miami was, and I knew what the Gators were. So at the end of the day, I always expected us to win. So that part didn't surprise me at all. A couple things that did. Our secondary played. I thought our secondary played great. From all the talk about them being so weak and all that, I guess them boys heard that and took it up a notch. And Cam Ward, who I didn't think could surprise me, because I always thought I knew Cam Ward was good, but man, he showed me he really is like next level. Some of them throws he was making. What were they calling him? Blacks in my home. I mean, that boy just got it. And when you got it, you got it.
No, I mean, he was one of those guys where really, when you really watch him, man, he's a guy that he's just different, bro.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you watch him go onto the football field, he just has this mantra about him. Everyone, talks about the calm, cool, collectiveness side, but he's got a cockiness side to him too. That 10-yard run where he kind of, slowly pedaled to the sideline.
But it's also it's cocky, but it's also mixed with a little humble because he doesn't really like. But I know what you're talking like when he ran to the side, like he just like another fucking day at the park. Like he's playing a 7-on-7 with that team. He pretty much fucking was anyway. But yeah, man, he got a little cocky to him, but he's also humble because he's not like because if it had been me and I broke off, I'm talking shit in your face. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably why Cam is Cam and Debo is Debo. So but yeah, man, that dude. Man, I could drop a tear, man. Miami got a quarterback.
Bro,
got a quarterback.
Not only do we have a quarterback, but like honestly, definitely in our lifetime in the last 25, 30 years, we've never had a quarterback like this. But if you really go back to it, the Vinny Testaverdes, right? The Kenny Kellys, the Ken Dorsey's of the world, Jim Kelly. We had some great quarterbacks in the past, but we never had a all-around quarterback on and off the field, true leader, and just the way he carries himself and the way he throws the football. Mm-hmm. We've never ever in Miami football history have had a quarterback like the one we have right now.
Not with that type of arm talent, man. Yeah. That man has a fucking whip, bro.
But before we continue on this Miami and Florida thing, another thing that's never happened is my kids have never been to a Miami football game yet. They've been able to go to practice. They've been able to go to spring games, things like that. But they never been able to actually go to a real football game live in action. And I remember my dad growing up, he would take me to the Orange Bowl back in the day. And that was really just how I gravitated towards the love of Miami Hurricanes football.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up getting tickets for tomorrow night's game, and I surprised the kids when I picked them up from school today.
Okay, so Uncle Debo, Brad, and the kids.
I got I got 7 tickets, but I'm bringing the whole
this
fam.
dude.
I'm bringing the whole family. I got my uncle, I got my pops, I got my cousin, I got Cheyenne, my girlfriend, come with me. I got the kids, so we got all of us going, man. But I want to bring them down here because they've been pretty hyped about this.
My
I'm like,
niece and nephew going crazy.
So I'm like, you know what? Well, I'll let y'all make a a quick 5-10 second appearance and let y'all come down here and show some love to the Kane fans.
I'm gonna move out the way so they can get in.
So we're gonna bring them down here. But man, I had them. Unfortunately, I was at the game. Live in action, front row, and they were with their moms, but they were wearing Hurricanes gear while they were watching the dismantling of this Florida Miami matchup. But while they were at the game or while they were watching the game, they kind of learned some stuff. So kids, I got my daughter Aubrey here with me. Aubrey, what'd you learn? Go ahead and show us. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
And where are you going tomorrow?
Miami.
To do what?
To see the game.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yep.
All right, Christian. Got my son with me as well. Christian, come on. Show him what you learned. Christian Kane, exactly. Middle name Cane.
Okay, watch it.
All right, let me see. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, where are you going tomorrow? Miami. Yep. Are you gonna go watch the football team?
Yeah, see Sebastian.
You're gonna go see Sebastian. Yeah, you love Sebastian, huh?
Yeah, my favorite part of the movie.
Movie? No, it's not a movie. It's gonna be a movie when you see Cam Ward start throwing that football. Give me that. All right, go to bed. It's me and Uncle Debo. Go ahead. So yeah, man, we surprised.
Good job.
So surprise the kids with the FAMU game tomorrow. First home game of the year. I think it's going to be close to a sellout. I'm hoping it's going to be packed. It was hard to get the tickets, to be honest with you. I was surprised how tough it was, man. But Cam Ward, man, going back to Himothy,
yes, sir.
This dude, like the stats, you pull up the stats, and yeah, it's very telling that he did what he did. Mm-hmm. But then you watch him and just the way he performed, like we were saying before, man, he just has like definitely. I'm not comparing him to this guy, but he just has like this Michael Jordan, Kobe, like mantra about him, this swagger to him that just I'm not used to, especially at quarterback. Like it's always one or the others. Either you have the swagger and you don't have the talent, or you have the talent and not the swagger, or we're just never ever able to put everything together. Yeah. And that first game against Florida in the swamp, we drained it,
bro. Yeah, and like you were saying about Cam, he has like this confidence about him that goes onto his teammates. It goes onto the fans. Because when I was watching Cam Ward play, I was like, "There's no way we lose this fucking game. I don't care what happens. There's no way we can lose. We got one. Like, ain't no way we lose." And he has that, and he gives it all to the rest of the team. I feel like something. And I'm not calling him Mahomes, but when you got Mahomes, you like shit. We got a chance. Yep. I ain't worried too much about it. And no, calm down. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but he might be fucking Patrick Mahomes. That boy is coming. I'm telling you.
Look, I mean, not only is Cam Ward, proven himself right now, but media, right? Before the season started, there was a lot of media hype on this Miami Hurricanes football team, not just because of Cam Ward, but some of the other additions that we brought along with some of the guys that, are carrying on to this football season. Not to mention, we didn't even bring up the fact that Ruben Bain, best defensive player on the team, the only guy that Florida fans at the time gave credit or was scared. And guess what? Second play of the game, he got hurt, was out for the rest of the game, and you didn't even realize, because guys like Tyler Barron, guys like Elijah Austin, guys like Ahmad Moten were doing their thing.
Guys like everybody Brad was telling you we had, but you did not want to believe. Yep. Guys that had it, but you didn't want to believe. Yep. Dude, I know we're Miami fans, so it's easy to be like, oh, you're just being a fan. But like, this is the one I'm like, no, like, it's just fucking obvious. It's fucking obvious. The last time we played in Orlando, I forget what year that was.
2019.
Yeah, like I went into that game like, okay, this game could go either way. I bet a lot of money on the game, lost a lot of money on the fucking game. But like even that game, I wasn't sure about. From the moment this game was announced, I wasn't worried. I thought Miami would win. When we got Cam Ward, I knew we were fucking winning. And then once we got into training and everything was coming out, I knew damn well there was no way we were losing this fucking game.
Fish Fan Miami, we appreciate the comment, man. Absolutely. Go Canes. We will be in the building tomorrow night, man. I'm making the 5-hour drive each way with the family, man. I can't wait. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us, Fish Fam Miami, if you don't mind, man. But we appreciate you dropping a comment. And anybody that's watching, man, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah.
And drop a comment, man. We'll definitely be interacting with you anytime there's a comment. I will gladly pull it up for you, man. But Fish Fan Miami, we appreciate the love and support, man. But yeah, going back to this Miami Hurricane football team, like I was talking about before, we're starting to prove ourselves. Even though it's week 1, it's still very early. Like you said, we don't want to get a hold of ourselves and kind of look ahead, because this is something that we've done in the past, and we end up hitting a couple speed bumps, and then we don't get to where we need to be. And I think this whole football team is definitely on a mission. But the media right now, as y'all know, with college football polls, it's a big thing in college football. Every week it changes. There's new things that move around. But I want to talk about the current AP top 25 of what's projected right now. Bo, what's your thoughts overall on this top 25 and where Miami currently sits?
So we got Miami at 12, that is?
12 right now.
I think that's, what are we coming to the game, 19?
19, I believe. Yep.
Okay. So I like that. I'm not mad about it. It was one game, and I think as good as I think we are, I think Florida was kind of ass, so it's kind of hard to prove ourselves how good we actually are against that team. I think anybody that doesn't live in Gainesville knows that that was a bad team we fucking played. But I like that. I don't know about Utah in front of us. So I think they should at least give us 11. I'll respect Michigan since they won it last year, but not shabby for one game. I expect to see us in that top, 5 at the end of the season, getting ready for the college football playoffs.
Are there any teams ahead of Miami right now? Like, actually, I'll ask you 2 questions on this. And anybody watching, make sure you drop your answer as well. I'll definitely pull up your answer and we can talk about it. But give me your 1 or 2 teams ahead of Miami that you think Miami can jump. And also give me your 2 teams ahead of Miami that you're kind of scared of after just 1 week and kind of all the hype that's gone into the offseason. And you're kind of like, all right, they're kind of living up to the hype. I could definitely mark these people in the playoffs most likely.
So I don't think Utah should be ahead of us, like I said before. And the other team I would say is Michigan. I saw their game. They got Texas this week. I don't think Michigan's too good. Should be ahead of us. Penn State does. I think Penn State looks pretty good this year.
Okay.
So I think they're one of those teams. Ole Miss look fucking nice. Lane's gonna have the, but Ben Lane, I expect them to fall off at some point. I mean, I just kind of do. Hold on, Oklahoma number 2. Ohio State. Shit. Okay, these shades. My bad. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Ohio State.
Okay, so yeah, those probably the 2 I would say. I'm still iffy on Dane, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Utah and Michigan are definitely the 2, even though they're right ahead of Miami. Those are 2 teams I'm not really too worried about. Like you said, Michigan and Texas are going to play themselves out. I think Texas is going to end up covering that spread. We'll kind of go over some bets and parlays later on. But I would say the Michigan and the Utah one, the team that really not necessarily scares me, but I would be worried if I was playing this team in the conferences. Missouri looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Missouri's got, not only do they got some weapons, but they know how to use those guys. I mean, they're a team that can play both sides of the football, and they're a team that's always going to fly under the radar just because they're Missouri. And I think they can cause a lot of problems in the SEC.
No, yeah, Missouri, they're looking good. They got that boy at receiver coming into the season.
Yeah, Bird.
Yeah, everybody was calling him the best receiver in college football. I think Smith at Ohio State might have something to say about that shit because that boy is looking nice. But yeah, Mizzou could do some shit. I can't wait to see him stomp another hole in the fucking Gators. I love when they do that. So,
yeah, speaking of the Gators, since you brought up the Gators, I'm just trying to wonder what do you think Billy Napier is doing right now? Because I personally think he's doing this.
You want to know something crazy? So I had to do some electrical work at the house he lives in.
Mm-hmm.
And he does have a pool, something like that. If it's drained, like we did that stadium, he's definitely standing in there just like that shit. I promise you, he's standing in there.
Oh,
somebody get Billy a drink, man. Poor Billy.
Hey, speaking of poor Gators, now, Bo, we have both been living in Gainesville for quite a while, right?
Long time.
Quite a while. I have seen gators in swamps. I've seen gators near sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen gators around ponds and neighborhoods.
I even seen them on the road.
I've seen them on roads as well. But I have never, ever in my life seen a gator just chilling in the bushes.
That a gator in the bush?
That's a gator in the bushes.
What the fuck that boy doing back there?
I don't know, but that's a gator in the bush.
What, man? You sure that ain't a prop?
I don't know, man. That's a gator in the bush. I don't know. I don't know if that's before or after the torn ACL, but that's a gator in the bush.
I feel like, look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this.
I've never seen that before.
The damn gator is in the bush.
So,
I know what it was. He backed up by those recruits. You know, they had the Chick-fil-A boxes. He was probably just trying to get a quick nugget. You know, it's like, hey, y'all, I'm getting my ass whooped. Toss me a nugget or something.
He was hungry. He definitely was.
Yeah. That boy in the goddamn bush. That's the damn shame. Isn't it something about like over the hedges with Florida?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay, well, we're happy to assist you with that, buddy.
But yeah, man, I think both. I mean, we didn't even talk about Florida State and their debacle.
Oh man,
they're 0-2. So as bad as Florida is, if Florida and Florida State were to play right now, Florida's gonna win that game.
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna go too hard on Florida State because y'all paying my bills right now. Keep fucking losing. Y'all are winning me some money, you know. But yeah, boy, it's sad up there in Tally right now.
The money that both of these schools are under right now, like if you really think about it, think about just the way these programs are shifting. Mario is in his third year. Mm-hmm. We are on the climb. We haven't even hit our peak yet. As great as Cam Ward is showing us right now and how all these players are coming together, we have not hit our peak yet.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this will be Mario's like first year with his roster, like all of Manny's guys out, like it's all his guys, right? For the most part, I mean, Xavier Strepo's a Manny guy. Okay. Jacoby George is a Manny guy. Pretty much all the leftover Manny guys are now impact guys. Other than that, you're not getting much guys that aren't impact guys. But I mean, Mario's in his third year. We're on the climb. We haven't even hit our peak. And you see the trajectory of where Miami is heading. Billy Napier is in his third year. They have already been spiraling down, but they're going to get even worse. They may only win 2 games this year. And we talked earlier about this coaching like carousel that they're trying to find and come up with these crazy names that are going to either lead big time programs or you're going to just get them out of the mud. You got to remember, this is a school that is still paying Dan Mullen, and I know that
Billy Napier plus mil just to buy him out, right? And then we go to the other side of Florida State. Florida State just gave Mike Norvell an extension. If you were to get rid of Mike Norvell right now, it would cost Florida State $63 million.
God damn.
$63 million.
Let that boy ride it out. Fuck it. Let him ride it out.
$63 million. And those are the two programs that Miami is going to be competing with big time recruits the next, 3-4 years in state. And we are on the trajectory of constantly improving. I mean, as y'all see, man, we got big time recruits going to, away games just to see us and dapping us up after the game. And throwing up the U. So you gotta love to see that, man.
Question. This just popped in my head. Do you think Norvell is do you think he's not that guy, or do you think he just made a bad decision and going to go get DJU, who I feel like the whole country knew was not a guy you want in your program?
The issue with Mike Norvell is he's not a recruiter and he's not a developer. Mm-hmm. He's never once gotten Florida State in the recruiting classes that Mario or Billy has.
Okay.
Yet he's had a lot more wins under his belt to prove on the football field. Then on top of that, this is a guy where he is known for just picking up pieces from places and just putting it together. He did the same thing for Memphis. That he didn't bring guys and develop things.
I remember that Memphis team with Pollard.
Yeah, he brought in a lot of guys from other places and it worked out. The problem with that is, especially being in year 5 at a program, you've already gone through your whole cycle of guys where now it's nothing but your guys. It's time for you to prove what you developed because you've gone through 4 cycles of recruiting.
His 5th year?
5th year.
Oh shit. Damn, I didn't know that. I thought he was in his 3rd, Mario and Billy then.
5th year, man. 5th year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Florida State ain't looking so good. Y'all shouldn't have been so quick to give him that extension.
Look, I'll tell you exactly what both of those programs are right now, and shout out to our guy because I agree with him wholeheartedly. So
you're an idiot, and it's as simple as that.
That's pretty much how I feel about Florida and Florida State's program right now. To be quite honest with you, they're just plain idiots.
Did you get Sunshine to issue an apology?
No.
Sunshine, I think you owe us one.
He won't apologize. They'll make up some type of excuse on why they got dismantled, or they'll say, "Hey, thank you for allowing us to go get another coach." But I'll tell you what's crazy. Before we get into this matchup tomorrow night with FAMU and some of these other college football games with bets and parlays, I kind of noticed something over the weekend of how crazy this year could possibly be in college football. As we know, with fashion and music, retro things always come back, you know. And when you think about the 2000s of college football,
don't give me chills, man.
Bo,
don't give me chills.
You think of,
don't do this to my heart.
You think of Miami at the top.
Don't do this.
You think of Vince Young in Texas at the top.
Don't do this.
You think of Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart with USC at the top. And guess what, Bo? All three of those schools right now, they're starting to brew something.
They are.
USC, Texas, Miami, they're starting to make some waves of college football. The 2000s are starting to make a wave back. How great of a comeback would it be? 12-team playoff if you're able to see teams like Miami, Texas, and USC all in it.
First of all, I ain't gonna cry. Damn, I got chill bumps just thinking about that, man. So yeah, I do love seeing Texas be good. USC is nice. Or maybe LSU is just that overrated. But just the names, so all those names hold weight. And if you could get those teams in the playoffs along with Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, if you can get those teams, man, I think that'd be the best thing for college football, because those are legit blue bloods. Like, they hold weight in college football. You see that logo, you know it means something. And people can say whatever they want about Miami. You ain't want to title and however long. Miami logos still hold weight, just like Notre Dame logo still holds some weight. You know, people know what that means.
Listen, the U moves the needle. I mean, there's no question about it. That 2017 run when we had Malik Rozier and we beat Notre Dame,
man, that was some of the best time of my life.
VTech back to back, and we were ranked number 2 at one point. We aren't even close to talent. Like, our talent now is way far beyond of what we even imagined that team would have been. And if you really go back to it, those were some great times. But at the end of the day, like, you had to pinch yourself, because it was like, man, there's no how are we winning these games?
It felt like a fairy tale.
and it ended up being true, right?
Yeah.
Where this time, bro, it just feels different, because like you don't have to pinch yourself, because like now it doesn't matter if you're sitting next to a Texas fan, a Florida fan, a Hawaii fan. Any fan of college football that turns on the University of Miami after week 1, they can tell you that that's a team to watch out for.
Yeah, no, man, that's crazy you say that, because I remember that 2017 year, man. I went to the Virginia Tech game and another game I can't remember, and that's when we did that shit to Notre Dame.
Yep.
And I remember in that time, like, Miami, and I was just so fucking happy, like, we were relevant again. But like, I wouldn't said this then, but it never felt like real. Like, I was never like, we gonna win the national championship, or, you know, the most I thought we'd go to the ACC championship. That's what I thought the ceiling was for us. But this year, like you said, it feels different, and it feels different because we know we got a guy at quarterback. Like, Rozier was good, he was nice, but you knew he wasn't like. But Cam Ward is like a guy, like, you see him going first round. He can compete with any quarterback in the nation across the field from him. And when you got somebody like that, man, it's just like, as long as we don't beat ourselves, I don't see us being stopped. If we don't, our biggest opponent is us, I think.
Agreed.
But I think it's about shot o'clock, man. We've only done one. I'm starting to sober up, even though I've been drinking the whole time.
Let's do it, man.
Shout out to Shay again.
A little bit of Shay. Man, this is some good stuff, man. Anybody that hasn't tried it or is, you know, tempting on trying it,
yeah,
it tastes very smooth. Tastes like some Coca-Cola, to be honest with you.
Yeah, go get your Shay, man. Shout out to Unc, and that's a free shout out, because
man,
trust me, he ain't paying us.
You know, if you need a sponsorship, we got you. But
yeah, I'm gonna hit you in your email, you know. Or Ashley, I know you don't check your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's good to be one of these guys.
Man, I'll tell you another thing. Y'all already know, anybody watching tuned in, I'm heavy into recruiting. My guy Bo's not so much, so I'll kind of take
I
over
got
this little
kids,
segment.
man. I'll wait till they get to the U.
Shit, I got kids too, man. I just got to keep up with it, man. But there were a lot of big time visitors at the Swamp watching us dismantle the University of Florida. Obviously, Cannon Pickett, DJ Pickett, Malik Autry, big time defensive end. That's a Michigan commit as well. But there are some names, that you really need to watch out for. And it's not just now that you need to watch out for them. You need to watch out for these guys throughout the football season, because what you guys haven't realized yet, or maybe some of you have that do follow recruiting like myself, is in December, Mario Cristobal puts on the loafers, and it's Merry Christmas. He takes whatever presents he wants from any program. He puts on the loafers and he closes things done. And this is without winning big time football games. This is without having a big time quarterback like Cam Ward that he has now. Now that he has this, folks, you got to remember, last year you had guys like Justin Scott, you had guys like Marquise Lightfoot, Elias Rudolph, Nikar, Aldarius Hayes, Armando Blunt, Jordan Lyle, and even OJ Romanes Frederick, who flipped from West Virginia to Miami, who is a starter already as a true freshman. We continuously flip guys, and that was all just in last cycle. So going into this cycle, DJ Pickett, Josh Moore, Elijah Griffin. Those are three names you need to watch throughout this football season, because DJ Pickett should have been a Hurricane the first time, but I think we're going to get another swing at it. He was at the Florida game at Florida. He's coming to Miami FAMU game this weekend.
Okay.
He's a 5-star, one of the best in the nation, committed to LSU with Corey Raymond. He's got family ties already on the football team. You got your cousin in Booker Pickett. And then you also got Cannon Pickett in 2026, offensive lineman, that I believe will be a Hurricane when it's all said and done as well. So Miami's going to continue to chop wood, and I think they could lay in the sky when it's all said and done. Josh Moore, committed to Florida right now, wide receiver from Miami Palmetto. This kid has always been a strong Miami lean, in my opinion. He's a guy that you don't really have to recruit the family. The family really loves Miami. I think they wanted to just secure their spot at Florida in the meantime and kind of wait and see approach, and they're liking what they're seeing with Miami. I like Miami there with Josh Moore. And then Elijah Griffin, big-time defensive lineman, one of the best defensive linemen in the country. He's a heavy Georgia lean, but this is a guy that Miami has always been chopping wood at, and I think he'll be at either this home game or a home game very, very soon. So I like us at least continuously to work on that. But at the end of the day, man, y'all know how recruiting goes, man. You got to just be patient with it and wait till signing day, because at the end of the day, man, all these guys could continuously being recruited, and those are guys that are committed to Miami as well.
Yes. So like you said, you're in the weeds, guy, with recruiting. I don't really get into recruiting. I usually wait for Brad to send me a video like, hey, you got to check out this kid. Miami might get him, or check him out. Miami got him, and then that's how I get to learn about the players and stuff like that. I don't really follow it like that. But yeah, this year I feel like it's going to be real big. Miami can do itself so many favors in recruiting. Kids seeing Cam Ward in Miami. And not just that, but Miami in the national spotlight and seeing how people are talking about them on these programs and stuff. I think that's going to make kids want to come to Miami more, be a part of that, class that, dare I say it, knock on wood, bring the U back. You know what I'm saying?
We're not there yet. As great as we were in week one and destroyed, our rival in Florida, which is great, because everywhere we go, we live here in Gainesville. We're throwing on that Tom Petty everywhere. That Tom Petty is like my ringtone. Any sports bar I go to, if there's a jukebox, I'm gonna throw an extra $1 just to play Tom Petty and wear my Canes gear and just look around and just see the sad faces around me, because Tom Petty, who is a Gainesville native, rest in peace, he's now a Miami Hurricane. I'm sorry, but you cannot play Tom Petty now without a Hurricane fan being around, because at that point he's a Miami guy now.
I usually try to tell Brad when he's going a little too far, but honestly, he's not. That's on them. That's on y'all, the Gators. How y'all do that? How y'all do that to Tom, man? How y'all do that to Tom? How you let us come in? It wasn't even about how you let us come in there and just mud stump you like that. You ain't put up a fight. You ain't put up an effort. Even when the song, Brad was at the game, I wasn't. I was at a bar talking shit and winning money. But Brad even told me when this damn song came on, y'all were quiet and the Miami fans were the ones singing Tom. How y'all let that shit go down? There ain't no way you can come down to Miami. Uncle Luke start playing, and it's the other team going crazy.
It ain't no easy way out.
That's crazy.
Man, it was
man,
great.
it was a beautiful Saturday.
It was beautiful
Saturday.
Man, speaking of getting let down, man, who would have thought after 1 week of college football, Miami's two toughest opponents in the state of Florida is this weekend FAMU, who were HBCU champs last season, who were top 10 in like almost every defensive statistic category last year. So they're actually pretty decent. And USF, who we play in a couple weeks. Those are going to be our two toughest opponents in the state of Florida this year on the schedule.
That's kind of crazy to think about, but it makes sense. I mean, these fucking programs are. Florida State may be a little. Well, I knew they were gonna be bad, but not that fucking bad. Yeah. Florida, I just knew it was gonna suck. I never saw it. I'm sorry, y'all. I got odds. They work. Like I knew Florida wasn't gonna be good from the get go. So that's why I got extra mad about the fans coming crazy and then talking about push this and push that. But I mean, shout out to UCF. As long as they don't try to get themselves another fake natty ring, go ahead and do your thing. But just know you little brother too.
I brought up FAMU, who obviously we play tomorrow night. Going into this game, this is an opponent that anytime we usually play FAMU, it's usually a game where by the third quarter we got our second, third strings in. We're putting around 50, 60 points. This is a team, though, like I mentioned before, HBCU champs last season, top 10 in defense in mostly every category last year.
Yeah.
They've won 13 straight games, so they're on a pretty big winning streak. And the head coach and Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal, offensive line coach, they go way back. I'm talking like middle school, elementary way back. And knowing who Mario Cristobal is as a person, usually when he has respect for another opponent or a coach, especially if they have a lot of family ties or just respect off the football field, he kind of doesn't really put the pedal on the gas.
Yeah, he don't stand on their neck.
But it seems like this year's different, just like everything else. And I really feel like, unfortunately, Mario just has this demeanor about him this year where it's like, I'm sorry, folks, but you're in the way. I got a mission, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my best friend. I don't care if we hung out last weekend. I don't care if I went to your first kid's birthday party. I got Cam Ward at quarterback. I got this team on a mission, and we're ready. We're ready to get to the playoffs. So, unfortunately, for FAMU's head coach, even though him and Mario and Alex Mirabal have a lot of ties, I really still feel like this is going to be 50 to 60 point margin victory at least. What's your thoughts on this FAMU game?
Well, I'm not gonna question you on your score prediction because right now you're a scary 1-0. But I lean the opposite way with you for this game. I feel like if it was a Power 5 team, a Virginia Tech, somebody like that, I think Mario would definitely give him the FU. But I think it would have been somebody like FAMU and not just it being FAMU and not wanting to ruin those ties, but I think with us, we're a playoff contender. And I think Mario doesn't want to risk anything, or I would hope he doesn't want to risk anything. Don't leave Cam in longer than he needs to. You see Bane got hurt on the second play. If the game is at hand, I think Mario takes these guys out and see what we have for next season. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a smarter move. Mario's way smarter than me, but I would like to see that more than throwing up 70 on FAMU. That don't really mean shit to me. I know we're the better team, but I want our boys to be healthy because I'm telling y'all, we got a run to make. We got a fucking run to make.
So with that being said, you don't expect a lot of the starters to get you don't expect them to either get crazy numbers or get like a crazy amount of playing time because at that point you want like second, third strings to go in. So that being said,
but there's also a happy. Sorry to cut you off. A happy medium just Cam Ward because I believe his Heisman campaign is real and his numbers need to be there. But I don't want it like if we're upset if it's 70, to fucking 12 or whatnot. I mean, you gotta pull them out.
So give me a player on offense and give me a player on defense that isn't necessarily a starter, but you feel like can make a big impact or have a big game against FAMU tomorrow.
So I think. Let's see here. I think Damn, that's an on the spot question.
Mm-hmm.
Going through my head. I think Isaiah Horton.
Okay.
I think he could have a big game. X
Okay.
and Sam will be out. I think Sam will have a good game too, but I think Horton will stay in late and get some more reps. Fletcher, of course. Fletcher. The way we rotated those boys Saturday, it's like we got 2 running backs. So maybe what's Allen? He'll get some carries
Okay.
and Emery, come in and show us what you got, man. You played decent for us last year till you got hurt in that Florida State game.
Anybody on defense?
Anybody on defense? Let's see here. Who would? I just want to see the young secondary.
Fans in the chat, drop who you think, man. Give me a player on offense and a player on defense that may not be a starter or a guy that's talked about that you feel like in this FAMU game might end up balling out.
Who you got?
Offense, running back wise, I'm gonna go Jordan Lyle or Chris Johnson. Okay. I think.
I wanted to say Johnson, but I wasn't sure if his whole situation was good.
I think he might be all right. I think with Jordan Lyle, you saw how much reps he got in that Florida game. Really told me a lot of how much they not depend on him, but how much they believe in a true freshman. This is a kid in Jordan Lyle from St. Thomas Aquinas that wasn't there in the spring. Like, he came in fall, so he has only been on campus for a couple months at that.
Okay.
Same thing with OJ Romanos Frederic, who ended up starting for Miami as a true freshman in that Florida game. But I think Jordan Lyle, Chris Johnson, another kid on offense, I'll say Nikar. I think someone like Nikar or Shamar Kirk.
Okay.
Those are guys that I would watch for against FAMU. On defense, I gotta go with my guy, 44, Cole McConaughey. I think Cole McConaughey is gonna be a wrecker. Man, between him and Marquise Lightfoot, I love both of those kids.
Yeah, you love 44.
And the other Alabama guy, Cameron Bobby Pruitt. I love him and his family, man. Great young man, raised the right way and super talented. I think the sky's the limit for him. I think he's going to be a animal when it's all said and done. Secondary, man, I really like what I'm seeing with OJ, man. I did not expect for OJ Romanos Frederic to do what he's been doing so quickly. So shout out to him. I want to see him continue to ball out and be that guy, because as we know, man, FAMU's got some guys on the other end that, as we know, Miami fans, anytime there's a hometown hero from Miami that never got the Miami offer or never went to Miami somehow, some way in the past, they end up usually biting us in the ass or balling out. And there's a few guys. The quarterback in Richardson,
he's from
Miami, and he's balling this year. I was
looking at him.
He's got like 7 or 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, like 600, 700 passing yards already, no interceptions. And he can move out of the pocket. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's a guy that's got a chip on his shoulder. You got him. At running back, you got Thad Franklin.
I remember that.
You got Thad Franklin, right? A former Miami Hurricane from Chaminade, Madonna. Then you also got
Quan
Lee.
What up, Quan?
Yep. Hopefully he could, pack and move everybody's stuff quickly after the game.
Wait, don't do that, man. Show the kid some respect.
You got Quan Lee, and you got a few other guys on the defense side of the ball too from South Florida, I believe. But man, yeah. Those guys are gonna be, coming ready to play.
That's good. I love, me. I got love for the HBCUs. That's why Brad gives me shit about supporting Dion, because I love what he did at Jackson State as a whole, and my support follow him to Colorado. So I like to see the HBCUs do good, not against the Hurricanes, but I just hope honestly hope it's a healthy game. Just Miami, go out there, do your thing, and nobody get hurt on both sides.
You just said the biggest thing out of all that: no injuries.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. But man, before we get into our bets and parlays and fantasy football,
shot o'clock.
Okay, shot o'clock.
We still here with you, man.
Shot o'clock. Shot fucking clock.
Let's do it.
While we're taking the shot,
talk to me.
Instead of me talking to you.
Who you got? What you doing? What's that?
I got something.
I think Brad's being petty. Unintended.
Hey. Gotta love this song, right? Hey. Cam Ward didn't back
Yeah.
down.
I'm sorry, y'all gotta. The dude is petty. He really, and I don't mean that as a pun. He's petty.
Inez Cooper didn't back down.
Hey, go Tom.
But yeah, man. Shout out to Tom Petty, man. We just being petty. But man, so before we get into these bets and parlays and fantasy football, which we just had our fantasy football draft.
Yes, sir.
Score prediction for the FAMU Miami game, just to have fun. Since I hit it on the head the first game, I might as well try to see if I can go two for two. I already have my score that I've kind of set out in the public, but I'll say it on the podcast just to be more official, since it's a, I be consistent.
I'm gonna go 63-10.
Damn, bro, did you look at my tweet or something?
Mm-mm.
You were very close. 63-13 is what I tweeted.
63-13. Okay.
63-13. That means either they're gonna have to get 2 touchdowns, miss an extra point, or a touchdown and 2 field goals. The more I keep thinking about it, those 2 field goals are probably gonna be kind of tough. But hey, man, I'm 1 for 1. I might as well try to go for 2 for 2. But yeah, 63-13, 63-10. We like the Canes all day, every day, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, love.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, going to these bets and parlays, right? We gave you a few last week, and I think most of them hit, if I'm not mistaken. I think 3 out of 4 hit.
Yeah.
If there is a spread option on this Miami game, I've been looking at all different apps. I haven't seen anywhere where you could bet on this Miami game. I don't know if it's because we're that good or because we're playing FAMU.
No, we're that fucking good.
But I think on the ESPN app, the spread was only like 19.5 or 17.5. I'm like, bro, hit the
Let me look at Hard Rock right now. What?
You can't. That's not on Hard Rock. I've been looking. But other than the Miami game, a game that I have already put a ticket in for on the Hard Rock, I hit it early, was the Colorado-Nebraska over. I got it at 55.5. I believe it's at 56.5 right now. But Colorado with Shedeur Sanders, Nebraska with Dylan Raiola.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a high-scoring football game, in my opinion. It's at Nebraska at nighttime. All the lights. It's going to be a primetime game. 2 quarterbacks that love to sling the football.
I like my
teams that don't really use defenses a lot very well. So I like the over on this. So if you can get it at 56.5 still, I would go ahead and hit the over on that. Other than that, I think Texas at 7.5, I believe. I like Texas over Michigan by at least maybe 9 to 10 points.
Okay.
Well, what's a game or team that you're looking at this weekend?
That Colorado one you said it's at the over it's at 55.5 now.
55.5. Okay.
Yeah. I like that. I like that bet. Let's see. What's the spread? I didn't check the spread on the Michigan-Texas game.
I don't know the spread on it. Actually, no. I believe it was at 7.
So right here it's 7.
7.5.
It's 7 even.
I would take that Texas.
You would take that?
I would take 7 on Texas.
So I would take that. Like you said, the Colorado one and the over. I think you're money with that one. Both defenses suck. And Colorado has lost in the past, but I've never seen nobody stop them from putting up points in their losses. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So yeah, I think you got a good one with that one.
What do you feel about who's Iowa playing again? I think Iowa money line. So maybe
Iowa State. That was 2.5 points.
Okay, so that might be a nice little 3-bet parlay you could get together between the Iowa money line, the Texas at 7, and then the Colorado Nebraska over.
I'm gonna put that in now.
Fans,
you do it too. I'm gonna put it in. If we lose, I'll lose my money with you. I'll put that in now.
I like that 3-bet parlay. You heard it here first from the Brad and Bo podcast. We signing off on it. I already booked my Colorado Nebraska one like 3 or 4 days ago. But yeah, man, other than the bets and parlays, we went over the Miami Florida game. We talked about the matchup with FAMU. Other than that, the last thing really to talk about is this fantasy football draft that we had over the past week, man. We had 10 of our closest friends and some of our guys that we chop it up with on a daily basis come over to the house. We had our boy Eric, who was on the podcast last week. This man is a chef, man.
I just call him. He's in my phone as Popeyes.
Yeah,
that's what he is in my phone.
He cooks. Anybody that likes the Popeyes chicken sandwiches, my guy cooks them from scratch, and they're 10 times better than Popeyes chicken sandwiches. He cooked it for us for the fantasy football game, man. Not only that, he provided the shay for us as well, man. We had some nice liquor, some good food. So shout out to my guy Eric. But yeah, man, we had a good time with the fantasy football draft. Who was the one guy on your team? When you're looking at your team, you're like, man, I'm glad I really got this guy.
The one guy I would say is Nick Chubb. I got his ass when everybody's eyes were down. We're late in the rounds, and I guess people just fucking forgot. But I saw Nick Chubb sitting there. Obviously, he's coming off ACL, but ACL doesn't mean anything these days with technology. People come off ACLs like it ain't nothing. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be right there for my playoff push, and and here I'm going for my back-to-back. Trying to be a 6-time champ. I'm already 5, as y'all know.
This man's a
Miami rings.
He's a habitual liar, folks. I've never been in a fantasy football draft with this man winning, by the way. Anytime I've gone head up to him, I always win.
It was a 4-man. I'm not gonna do this.
Anyway, so you mentioned Nick Chubb.
Uh-huh.
The guy I'm gonna bring up is a guy that as soon as I drafted him, I told these people in my house, I said, y'all are sleeping on this dude. He's gonna ball out. And sure enough, not only did I start him, but he played last night, and he was easily Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target, even though he didn't put up the most points. But Rashee Rice, who should be probably suspended this year, he's not going to be suspended this year. If you dig deep into the public records of the police report and kind of everything of how they're handling the situation, the trial and the case isn't even going to start until late December. So he's going to go through this whole football season good to go. And if any punishment is made, it's not going to be till next season.
So basically, because there's
not enough evidence to kind of push the trial quicker.
But the NFL operates off, okay, you got found guilty, here's your punishment. So he's got nothing.
He hasn't even came out guilty. That's part of the issue.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So they need a verdict before they can punish
exactly.
Him. Okay.
But Rashee Rice was the guy I was really hyped on getting. And he put up 17.5 points last night. Could have easily put up 20 plus if he would have caught a touchdown, which I think moving forward, it's pretty easy to tell, in my opinion. He's going to be the number 1 or number 2 guy in that offense.
I don't know about that shit because Travis Kelce is still there. He's going to be a favorite red zone target. I don't think he's going to do much in midfield and downfield, but I think he'll be a favorite red zone target. And X showed you who he was. So Rashee Rice, he might be looking out the window. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Rashee. I think he's nice. But he's, I think he's after the catch receiver. We'll see. He's good. He's good.
Listen, my receivers is
Rashee Rice. He's got Patty Mahomes, so
I got Rashee Rice, Devontae Smith, Puka, and Nico Collins as my 4 wide receivers.
This man got so hyped about getting Nico. Like, that was just like he just won the championship. Like, don't get me wrong, Nico is nice, but he's not even he's the 3rd best receiver on his team.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Definitely
Bro,
not.
this man think Nico is better than Tank Dell.
I mean, fantasy football number 1.
No, he's not, bro. Before Tank Dell got hurt, he was ripping shit up.
You'll see this year.
This is why he doesn't have 5 championships, and I do. Because I know this shit. I study this shit. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see. We'll see who wins this week. I think you're down in your matchup. I'm up in mine.
Yeah, he ain't looking good.
But we'll see.
The Chiefs lost their opener and won the Super Bowl last year. So.
But hey, man, speaking of NFL football, man, there's a big time game going on that we're missing because we're chopping it up with y'all.
Man.
We just hit the hour mark, which we're right on time.
Okay.
But before we get going, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the Bo and Brad podcast. If y'all don't mind, we're going to continue to do this every single Friday. Other than that, we're out.
All right. Hey, shout out to Abuela watching, our mama. I appreciate that. Mama Shay, I appreciate you watching. Go Canes. I just want to say,
we got fans all the way out in College Station.
College Station?
We already took over College Station.
Hey, it hold weight. I've been trying to tell them it hold weight.
Yeah, man.
And, man, it's been a blessing. Gator fans, y'all need to go to fucking therapy because I tried to tell y'all. I don't know why nobody wants to listen to me, but I tried to tell y'all. But, I mean, yeah, it's been a good night. It's been a great fucking week, man.
Great fucking week.
By Monday, I was just between Florida and fucking Florida and Florida State, y'all paid my bills for this month. Like I ain't even have to take no money out of pocket, you know. And there's still a few Gator fans that owe me, so tap in, if you will.
Yeah, man, tap in and like and subscribe to the podcast, man. But we're about to be out of here and watch some football ourselves, man. And shout out to Calvin and Tree Ward for giving birth to Cameron Himothy Ward. We out.
That was it.
We out. Greatest quarterback to live right there.